Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything an amazing Propagandacast with me, a host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only Master Propaganda Hero Psych Defender of the Fatherland, off here to a 1v1 on Langraskaya. In the north it is Elpern fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, Comrade Stalin. Here with the 12th Guards Tank Corps with shock rifle frontline tactics featuring KD-8s, anti-tank and ambush tactics, shock troopers, incendiary artillery barrages, and the IS-2 heavy tank in the south. It is Mirasol fighting for the Wehrmacht Germany, Deutschland. Here with the Hermann Göring Fallschirmpanzerdivision, Luftwaffe's only armoured division. Yes, the Luftwaffe did have a full-on Panzer division. In fact, at one point it had a full-on Panzer Corps with a Panzer Green division in as well. But anyways, we got mobile defense, elite troops, and mechanized here with triple infantry. We got double conscripts engineers for Elpern. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my patrons, supporters, wonderful people one and all who support the Propagandacast through thick and thin and support the worth it. Other people can join the ranks by Patreon. Also, big thanks to Daniel for donating and supporting the Propagandacast with his hard-earned money. Big thanks to you, Daniel. You wonderful, handsome person, you. Other people can join his heroic spectacular example by Patreon or donate via PayPal. Links in the description as well for that. And finally, you can just comment, like, share, subscribe. May not appear as directly heroic, but it does help in fighting against the YouTube algorithm and force them to spread the word of the Propagandacast further. So do consider doing one of those things. Anyways, Grenadiers here, more for Mirasol. Quick lot of barbed wire here for Elpern, ready to resist the German onslaught there with the power of barbed wire. New space in the east there, and we got Mirasol here with mechanized, featuring command tanks. 250-1.5 tracks, vehicle critical repair, spotting scopes, and like to fill up its scene. In the background, we got Basil wanting attention. Meow. That was me going out there, by the way. Anyway, sandbags in the west here, preparing fortifications along the western frontier. Interesting enough, he's not going straight for the fuel pond there, by the way. An interesting approach here clearly indicates he's more concerned about getting rushed, in particular around this building, as this building can be a bit of a pain in the posterior if it gets occupied. Meanwhile here, Elpern digging in further. Very quiet opening here. We got a mortar as well from Mirasol here. That setup is a map like Langraskaya there definitely can benefit a lot from a mortar due to the way the map tends to play it. There's definitely sort of a sense of slight choke pointiness around the center here, so having some artillery help deal with that is a good idea. The Pioneers for some reason also managed to split themselves off quite a bit there. That's always a bit awkward. That said, contact what was the Pioneers going to force them to divert forces from the center towards the west here to have a chance here. You can, of course, leave the center a bit on its own there with the info too, but you also need to keep the flank here covered. Yuri there drops dead, first casualty of this battle. Mortar moving up there. They got Nart and Mavin. You can just bring in there. Flamethrowers on the way there. We'll need to respond to that mortar setting up. Here, Grenadiers, Pioneers ready to push off the country from the western fuel pod here. Not the greatest start here for Mirasol so far as Elpern. There you go. Gets another kill there. Sergei drops in there. Go catch the country then before two could even suppress the engineers if it gets going on long enough. But no. Country on the flank. You need to deal with them. Grenadiers that release. Attempting on the west side here. Grenadiers, Pioneers going for the country there. Bleed them out here. Bit of a spice engagement here for Mirasol and Elpern. Mortar landing close to the conscripts. But goes a bit above. There we go. Second shot. Too close. Oh, a bit too short there. There's some really unlucky mortaring there for Mirasol. But fairly fortunate there for Elpern. None of the mortar bombs have even remotely landed hits there. In the west there. Constant pushback. Third Grenadier squad now for Mirasol here. Push towards the machine. They push back. Guess he gave an attack order and he just moved up there. That can happen if you forget about that. Third Grenadier squad ready. Mirasol I think needs to take up his Schnell. Meanwhile, Elpern there takes loss from the mortar as it finally scores a kill there for the fatherland. Contra taking further losses, mines in the center. The Germans operated a variety of mortars throughout the war. They also had a smaller 50cm mortar, which was fairly complicated for a light mortar and also apparently fairly heavy. Though that one kind of got discarded after a time once they got their hands on the 120mm mortar from the Soviets and copied it straight up. They also had a series of Nebelwerfer mortars, by the way, which was sort of roughly in the 100mm range as well, but which never really saw a lot of action, interestingly enough. So, a few fun details there. Troops reinforcing healing here for Elpern. Moving on the center of the Pioneers. Grenadiers mission up the eastern side here. Grenade moving ready to support again here. Tech almost down there for Mirasol. West side here. Grenadiers moving forwards there for Deutschland as well. Good shot there for the mortar. right into the midst of the conscripts, doing a fair bit of damage, but crucially doesn't get any kills, between positioning grenades as well here, looking to deflect here. Elpern's assault as he once more makes the move on the carve point here. Elpern wishes to throttle the German fuel supply here. Eastern side there, pulling back here, committing further here to respond here to Elpern's push there. Part of me thinks you'd kept moving there, but maybe we could just divert some pioneers. Sandbags here, constantly occupying the building there. Grenadiers doing what they can. Pioneers, what I think, getting focused down here. We got a flank here as well there. Enemy forcing up to stop here. Elpern's advance there, constant push back here. Grenadier has definitely proved to be fairly handy in just inflicting fair amounts of heavy damage here to Elpern and the Germans. Almost versus one there, 2 kills. Denying him some hiding positions there, so thumbs up to Mirasol for going for a mortar. They can tend to be overlooked in a lot of matches here, in particular 1v1s, but mortars can be a very good investment for the smart player. Then he's bring up here, strictly moving on to the munitions, the victory point here. Tech is done there. He could go for a Panther Escort or 250 half-track here, but most likely won't. We got S-Mines in the companies with a pretty bold move disruption there against Elpern here. Doesn't quite get as much damage as that like, and probably not in the way he wants to, but still messes a bit there with Elpern's economy. It's definitely not bad. We got smoke down there. Interesting. Guess he had some plans to cover the pioneers as they were laying down the S-Mines, but sadly, a bit too late to the party there. But I like the idea, though. I really like the idea. I do think that was fairly, yes, actually clever there by Mirasol. Just the timing ultimately didn't quite work out for him. Anyways, like to make a nice coming up, most likely for Mirasol, probably a 2-2 against sort of standard Wehrmacht meta game. The mortar in this regard, the way he went for it was definitely a bit more of a detour, but ultimately he did show, say, return to the path most Wehrmacht players typically tend to take in terms of build orders. Rifle grenades, mortar fire there, constantly being pushed out into the open here. As Mirasol levies everything he can against that building, roofs caving in there under intense Granatenwerfer fire there. Mortar fire there just causing the constant great grief, and we got a shock trooper squad here for Elpern. That's going to get tough here for Mirasol. We also got the Western Field being hit there. We got mines being laid down as well to deal with a German counterattack. Thumbs up there. More mines from Elpern. Really sharp play there. 2-2 on the right, but we got the shock troopers out there with their PPSH-41 submachine guns. News in the center could be in trouble there. Light machines up as well there for Mirasol's forces. Bunker up with medics. 2-2 out there for Mirasol. Shock troopers heading eastwards. The shock troopers were specialist assault engineers there. The body armor was really only for like urban warfare, where they were expected more close quarters weapons like pistols and, you know, submachine guns, which is really what the body armor protected against, like machine guns, rifles, assault rifles. Not really effective actually. Here was the armored car on the west. We got actually plenty of mines here from Elpern. Definitely looking to make that fuel point fairly expensive to get back there for Mirasol, but our way, sharp play there by Elpern. Sharp play. Thumbs up to him there. No tech yet of Elpern. I mean, timing-wise, he definitely would, in most cases, have gone for T-70s. Of course, could be that Elpern is in fact intending to not bother with the T-70 door. He's also fairly late with the support boom company here. Our way, grenades up there for Elpern. Mortar there with veterans. One hasn't getting many more kills here now for Mirasol, though. Shock troopers continuing up the eastern path here. Note, while this submachine is the one with the iconic drum magazine, the harsh reality was the drum magazine had a lot of flaws. In general, just drum magazines as a design had some issues, but in particular with mass production in the Soviet industry, they had even further issues. Actually, sorting a lot of magazines, spare magazines, basically not being usable with submachine guns. In many cases, shock troopers or whatever hatches used the magazines didn't really have a lot of spares. So that was another reason why they ultimately pushed for box magazines on the PPSH-41. Then, you know, they were lighter and you can actually carry more of them, but you could also just be more expectant of actually having spare magazines to use. Again, the west there. East side here. Elpern moving up to another push on the Germans. They got the Panzer Grenadier out here for Mirasol. Elpern there's got tech on the way there. But at this point, may just go straight for the Mechanized Armor Company. But you also push for the T7 too. I would say both are very much possibilities here. Machine there catching the shock with the constant. We do get a quick smoke grenade here from Elpern's shock troopers. Panzer the armor covers the shock troop. There go mortar files and danger close, and ultimately convinces Elpern to retreat. And we do get a half-track here, since obviously with shock troopers he does need, you know, light machines for his guardsmen because he can't get them. And so he can more easily afford the munitions for the half-track, which of course allows him to still go for a light vehicle to pressure Mirasol, but also preserves more fuel for armor, so smart play there. We got more mines here from Elpern as well. Oh, it's a demo charge actually. That is bigger than a mine. And certainly packs a bigger boom. Devious play there by Elpern. Devious. Using the western cluster being wiped out, but they do manage it. Half track out here. The M5 half track provided via Lend-Lease by the Americans. Most half tracks, if not all of them, were primarily used for moving troops behind the front line to the front line, but they were actually never really part of an organic like frontline units, although like, you know, elements there. Like they never really mechanized infantry because they just couldn't spare them. So they were pretty much used for like logistical purposes that way. Fun fact. Looks like he's going to go for the mixed approach here, popping infantry in then upgrading, so that way, you know, he roughly tries to time it so, you know, you pop out the infantry as the upgrade, or you get the upgrade ready as you sort of midst there, popping the infantry at the same time. It's a bit of a sneaky one, but can be quite powerful, obviously, if timed correctly. If not, it's going to look a bit awkward. Still, that's going to force the Gunnies here to retreat. They obviously can't try and panzerfaust that, since A, the court mount does a lot of damage, but also they got the shock troopers, meaning if he tried to panzerfaust that, he'd definitely lose the squad here. And even then, he takes a lot of damage and was close to a wipe there. So, pretty aggressive push here by Elpern. Some light mechanization there. Field gun firing up with Elpern, the Red Army. Mirasol, of course, at this point may try and take up. We got the Pack 40 ready there. The Panzer Abwehr Krone 40. Panzer Gunnies here might spot the demo charge. He will have to see if he does that. Yeah, I think he does that. He might just do that. But there you go, half to there. Oh! I can't watch. Yeah, that's a wipe. That was brutal, but efficient. Good work there by Elpern, of course. Very devious mine there against Mirasol. Very devious and cost them a full Panzer squad. We do get tech now. We'll have to replace the Panzer squads though. But going by what most players do, he won't. Unfortunately. I imagine Elpern's going to be trying to take up soon here versus Mirasol. Conscripts will have to move towards the centre here. Field gun on the move as well. Infantry being dispatched westward. Pack 40 move towards the centre here to resist the arrival of the half-track here from Elpern and the Red Army. Getting to express for the half-track. My God, Otto, these Russians get paid for every bullet so far? They're Soviets! I'm fairly certain they don't get paid for it. On the west side, they're grabbing the point with the conscripts, taking in there. Field gun quickly disengaging. Lost the armor cover without getting the half trade. That's a pretty good exchange there for Elpern. Obviously, going back the eastern fuel point. He's also laid down S-mines. I do like Mirasol trying to throw down S-mines here and there. Obviously, again, they can be swept away. But at the same time, in the case where Elpern failed to do that, that's going to cost Elpern quite a bit there. No tech yet, though. For Elpern, Mirasol, though, could go for a Panzer IV here. Or a command tank rush, possibly, versus Elpern. Possibly. They need to get that fuel pump back. He actually does go for a second Panzer squad. And he's also building a promo call. Thumbs up there. Fighting on the western fuel pinnacle needs with the conscripts. More trapped again there for Deutschland. 2 kills, veterans 1 still. Sandy hasn't been able to get much more out of that mortar for some time now. Might want to get a bit closer to the front line though. He's definitely holding a bit back there. Pack wrecking sandbags. Nothing further on there. We got needs to basically fix up Elpern's half track there. And there you go, shock troops hitting there. Mirasol from an angle he was clearly not expecting. We got the Panzers and the Gunnies opening up the shock troopers. Yevgeny there drops dead. Ripped apart here by German automatic fire. Also got the feeling they're being ambushed. Thumbs up there to Elpern. Mechanized armor company as well for Elpern. Need to, of course, get the western fuel back. Though, note he grabs first the carve point because that way he ensures that he manages to grab the point. Elpern doesn't get any resources out of it. So, thumbs up there to Mirasol. That is a bit of smart capping order there. And things like that can make a slight difference then in the longer match. I'll wait mechanized armor company almost there for Elpern. Can then push for a T-34-6 pretty fast. You'll also go for the KV-8. That's theoretically the idea of stalling for the eyes, but I think doing that right now would basically concede too much initiative to his opponent. There you go. T-34-6 for Elpern, just a very good medium shock tank that can apply a lot of pressure to the opponent very fast, as it has excellent DPS versus infantry. And it's just generally very cost efficient. Here's to push back the conscript shock just bring in there. T-34 from 6 halfway done. Mirasol here could of course go for Stu, but he probably won't. I'd imagine he's going to go for the Panther 4. Field bombarding here. Smoke grenade down as well there. On the flank here, the Pun's going to be there dealing with the conscripts. They're trying to breach here, but Mirasol and Deutschland are having none of it. North here, conscript westwards there. Grenades falling back. Whoops, over that. Shock was caught at the M42. Smoke grenade still on cooldown, so they can't actually throw another one here against Mirasol. The T-34 some 6 has arrived here. No, this is the, shall we say, 1942 model, though apparently wasn't quite that easy to classify them, apparently according to some scholars. In this case, you can tell by the turning part because it has these two hatches, which sort of gave it what the Germans called Mickey Mouses, because of, like, both hatches were up, it kind of had that sort of look there, so they called it Mickey Mouses. So that's kind of like a way to tell, in part of it's a sort of, shall we say, the late model of the T-34-6. Rushing forwards here, Panther Fires there attempted, but stopped. Here's the field gun here, well, if we could see it. There we go, Panther 4 for Mirasol. Briefly considered another grenadier going to start going for another machine gun. I'd say either works well. You could also go for a Panzer Grenadier squad more here. Also got Betty 2 on the Grenadier for now. Looking to sneak up the right hand side. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. Seizing in the centre. Part of me would like to see the mortar slightly closer to the front lines, but to like hit Elpern positions more actively. Western field being seized back. He needs to of course respond to that. And we got the Panthers now equipped with Panzer Shreks. Yeah, I guess. I mean, if he's going to do that, I think he should have gone for another Panzer Grenadier squad instead of another machine gun. That way, he could have a Panzer Grenadier squad and a Panzer Shrek team. I think that would have been, personally, a much better division. Though, again, Panzer Shreks do pack quite a bit of burst damage versus tanks, and of course, also a lot less vulnerable to getting outmaneuvered. And of course, just a bit more flexible. Obviously, packs are just overall cheaper. In that sense, more cost efficient. Again, I do think Panzer 6 are pretty good as well. We've got the courage to use them. Anyways, Katyusha on the way for Elpern. Following standard third metagame that way. Go for tank, go for Katyusha. Again, more to the really should be close to the front line here. Could assist here with the shock troopers, for example. Panther 4's on the move, Pack 40 as well. Field gun is ready to ambush the German Panzer. And there you go. Shock troopers find their cover, slowly crumbling in the face of the German Panzer. There go, charging in. Almost got the entire squad wiped. I think there's a good chance here wiping out Elpern shock troopers. There you go. Down they go. The body armor was not proof against the Panzers. We got Pinlight Machine and the Spotting Scopes on the way as well. Thumbs up to Mirasol, but he needs to get the Western fuel point back. I feel like he's a bit too lax on allowing Elpern to grab that Western fuel point all the time. I do feel like that is a bit of a slight mistake. Got the Katyusha out here for Elpern and the Red Army. Reinforcing healing here. Need to fix up the Panther for lightly. T-34 some 6 rolling forward here. Fire from the Grenadiers. Pushing for these some fuel point over the Panzerjägers or Panzerzerstörer. Apparently was the actual title. Panther flying away there. Katyusha firing in the Pack 40. Panther 4 there. Opening up the conscripts. Pack's about to be wiped out. Grabbing some point over the Panzerzerstörer. T-34 some aggression 40 for Elpern. Halfway to death. Fortunately for Elpern, the Panzer Street team is elsewhere. And the Panther 4 is also clearly a bit hesitant here. More to find, we're a bit close to the front line. Got 5 kills now. He's about to risk knocking out the T-34 Pack 40. We got another one away there from Mirasol. T-34 though misses. Pushing forward to the Panther. I feel like that's a bit risky considering the overall environment there. He does get the T-34, it's only abandoned. I'm not entirely sure why he was willing to risk a Panther 4 for a T-34-76. I mean, in terms of, like, shall I say, overall economy, the Panther 4 is more expensive. So that worked out reasonably well for Elpern. I mean, it's easier for him to replace the T-34-76 Volt than it is, like, for Mirasol to replace the Panther 4. So I feel like that one didn't quite add up there for Mirasol. That one did not quite add up in my book. Second Pack 40 almost is ready. Could crew them on, of course. Still need to push up the west side here against Elpern. He needs to get that fuel back in his control. Of course, deny Elpern fuel. Fresh shock troop squad here for Elpern. He wants those shock troopers to smash those fascist faces in. Healing reinforcement here, so good. Closer to the free than the ace level on the Granadenwerfer. CoH2 is almost ready to fire again if open. Picks up the half track here. And we got those Panzerjägers there ready. As the war went on, actually, the Germans would slowly start replacing anti-tank gun units with Panzerschreck units. As ultimately, logistically, Panzerschrecks will also try and get the users to get a lot closer to the tanks and anti-tank guns. It was just easy to handle because you did not need tractors and other things to hold around, you know, Panzerschrecks. And that sounds like, you know, you just needed guys. So logistically, a lot easier to manage just a bunch of Panzerschreck teams than anti-tank guns. So, fun fact there. Particularly some of the early Volkswagen division, in fact, the Volkswagen thing was some of like the first ones to like see that as on a major organization level, which is basically entire anti-tank gun units were replaced with Panzerschreck teams. So, fun fact there. Fun fact. He needs to get those fuel points back. I feel like that's like a major mistake of Mirasol as the war goes on, you know, this fight goes on. He's definitely, I think, allowing Elpern to get too much fuel too easily. That said, I can understand why he ends up selling it, because again, like the way the map sort of flows with the roads, it kind of sort of boxes in the southern player. They're not careful, like you can accidentally do that. Can be a bit of an unfortunate with some maps. They sort of create these boxes where like it becomes easy to like just box one player in. Other maps I think are much better at avoiding this, but I think Langraskaya is like, shall I say, one of those classic box maps. KV-8 flamethrower tank for Elpern. Part of me is starting to expect he's going to go for the IS-2 here, but obviously the KV-8 can also be quite the handful. As for Mirasol, I'm guessing another Panther will have to go straight here for the Panzerjägers, or Panzerschützer. So rockets there. Have to quickly dodge out of that one. Unfortunately, engineers can use pioneers to move here. Quickly routing them. Could even get a wipe here if Mirasol's unlucky. Or Elpern is very lucky, obviously. Bit of a matter of perspective there. Unfortunately, engineers. Nothing further on Mirasol's base. KV-8 is almost on for Elpern. Looks like he is, in fact, flamethrower tank bound. And CoH2 fire here looking to silence some German positions. A machine covering up here. I definitely feel like Mirasol needs to get slightly more aggressive in some respects. But there you go. KV-8 flamethrower tank out there for Elpern, based off the KV tank series. I think only produced in small numbers, and as the war went on, they just start using T-34-76s as flamethrower tanks instead. Particularly once they got the T-3045 series going, and T-34-76s were starting to be relegated into other roles. They could just easily start converting T-34-76s into flamethrower tanks. So, fun fact there, by the way, fun fact. Panther 4 more here for Mirasol. We'll have to retrace that one away too quickly. Or too easily, I suppose is a better way to put it. At this point, I think Mirasol may want to consider laying down some telemines here and there. To catch up, you know, potential tanks here from Elpern. Max machine gun there for Elpern. To help support his troops versus the German troops. Suppress them. Pack 40 ready. Shot bounces. Panther first off there from Jürgen. The Panzer tunes going up. They got the choppers and he's flanking up behind. Really nice flank by Elpern. Bit of a long route, but clearly his patience worked out. They're pushing back the machine gun. Didn't quite wipe it, but he definitely, I think, unsettled Mirasol and forced away his attention here from the KV-8. So thumbs up, that's Elpern. KV-8 the moving forwards. Panther almost done here. Burning through the machine crew rapidly. Got the Panzerschreck team. They're ready to engage the KV-8 with their 88mm rockets. There we go. One shot went through. Pack shoots, misses. Westwards, you've got engineers pushing for this on fuel point. Engineers ground the point here. Lots of back and forth. Elpern ready to risk the KV-8 here versus the Panzerschreck team again. There we go. Several rockets going through there, at least one minimum. Pushing up with the Panther 4. They still need to mount the field gun here. I think he forgot about it. But this can't actually manage to catch it off guard here. Could actually destroy it, perhaps. I'm going to get that mortar in action. Machine joining as well here. Mortar is actually all the way back here, but of course with actually fleet can fire much further now, so can fire from a safe position. Again, forgets about western fuel point here. Panther down to half health. Almost got the field gun here, but something a bit less like that. We got the KV-8 now switch going to its 45mm gun here. versus Mirasol. Pac-Man forwards here. Almost got the KV-8 here. Patriotic team finishes off the KV-8 and clears out the field with the Panther 4. Good push here by Mirasol, but again, really wants to get that fuel back, I think. Patriotic team miraculously avoid knocking out their own tank. But they're going to tank grenade off on the Panther 4, trying to clear out the Maxim there. Mortar fire is still not quite succeeding. They need to pop a bomb grenade, everything around the field. Nope, pops on the machine gun. Guess that works too, though. Oh, his own pack got wiped out too. Field and recruit here. Panther 4 could get knocked out. He needs to retreat to the Panzerjäger as well there. Bit of a messy engagement. Need to put it on. Oh, got it wiped again. Mortar needs to keep bombarding now. Keep bombarding. Other machine link forwards here. Looks like he does escape with the Panther 4. It's going to be a close call here. Need to retreat the Grenadiers here. Quite the slaughter over the center between Mirasol and Elpern. Quite the slaughter. But need to get that Pack 40 back. He still hasn't recruited the other one either. I feel like Mirasol here might be showing some slight signs of fatigue and stress here, honestly, at this point already. Popping in there again, close to the ace level, quickly routes Mirasol's Grenadiers there. Could pop into non-pierce rounds on this one, but so far he hasn't shown himself to be a big user, and there's about to lose his Pack 40 there. Almost got it up there, we do get the into non-piercing rounds here. Might be able to clear it out here with a bit of luck, but it is suppressed, so maybe not. Yup. Now we got the shock troopers pushing the way through here. Panther 4 being fixed up. They're using part of the self-repairs to speed it up. Thumbs up. Again, needs to push up west side. He needs to get some of those resources back again here. Maximum crewed. And there's, of course, still the Pack 40 here. More Grenadiers from Mirasol now. I mean, more infantry, I think, can be a bit of a look element there, in particular to the Wehrmacht. In part, though, because he actually lost the Grenadier squad. I missed that one. 9 kills on the Grenadier effort. Very good, very good. Panther moving forwards here, getting in pretty aggressively. Doesn't create the pack. Panther 4 down to very little health again. And they also want to get the Patriotic team over to assist here. Die Raketen Panzerbüchse, so good. That could give Elpern there a bit of a scare if he's not careful. Possibly in a burning tank. In this case, there only one rocket seems to hit the T-34 from 6. Fortunate for Elpern. Shocks on the flank here. Overall, good maneuvering of the shock troopers. Elpern is definitely getting a lot of value out of them. Almost got the Patrick team there. Crew the Pack 40 there finally. I think he remembered it. Oh, nice attempt at the bomb grenade here by Mirasol. But sadly for him, or fortunate for Elpern, it didn't pan out. East side, the MD4 troops, the contras there. Machine cleared out. Protecting the center there. Really just brutal and relentless fighting between Mirasol and Elpern. And Mirasol just keeps, I think, overfocusing the center at this point, to be honest. Like, he's forgetting about the rest of the map here. He's definitely, I think, suffering from some severe case of tunnel vision right now. To the point, again, he's allowing Elpern to, like, hold 2 fuel points for quite some time now. It is definitely, I think, a point of major concern here for Mirasol. And he's there to go hand over MU4 to Elpern as well here. Looking pretty rough for Mirasol right now. Pretty rough. Things just got a lot tougher for him. A lot tougher for him. In part because, again, by failing to get that fuel point back, it's going to be much harder to get out more tanks here versus Elpern. I think right now, one of Mirasol's best bets is, like, you know, regaining control of this match is going to be bringing, like, more Panzer Force here or command tank versus Elpern. But with only 13 fuel per minute, that's going to be tough. And meanwhile, Elpern's getting a lot more fuel here than Mirasol per minute. In fact, more than twice as much. That's definitely, I think, something here that Mirasol needs to get sorted out schnell. Got more mines here from Elpern. Very good. Wunderbar even. Oh, not wunderbar. Got a Struki on there from Mirasol. Thumbs up. That is definitely also a way to challenge here Elpern's armor. It does require he makes better use of his mortar as well. And of course gets back that western fuel point here. That's what they're going for. It shoots Maces, field gun there, half health, 2 kills. Got the anti-tanks in the pioneers moving forward here. Machine covering up here, mortar as well. Then we got a Katyusha fire again here from Elpern, but this time Mirasol is ready. He dodges it, and every rocket flung his way. He's finally grabbing back the western fuel point again, though. As for Elpern, hard to say what he's planning next. It could be an ISA at this point, honestly. It could also be another KV-8. Could be Okay, east side here, MD42 then under, so Commander course repulses Mirasol's eastern attempt here. Panzer 18 never been caught up with the counter. The shock troopers will need to retreat them before they get utterly annihilated here by Elpern. And there goes Sturmgeschütz 3 als für den Gig-Effekt, right there goes shock troopers on the retreat path of the Panzer team. There could be quite painful. There they go grenade as well. Also a bit of whiff with that grenade, like Mirasol's watching the shock troopers. Shoot the need carefully. Bounces a shot from the T-34-6 at fairly close range. Is actually fairly lucky in-game wise, as in-game wise it doesn't have great armor. In the actual war, the Stug 3G actually had slightly better armor than the Panther 4s. It had 80mm of somewhat sloped armor, giving a bit of advantage there. Plus, of course, it had a low profile, and was generally fairly small, so it was also fairly hard to spot. T-34-6, they're heavily damaged, but loses ace machine gun. Definitely something to be careful about. He's also risking his Stug here. That is definitely a mistake there, I think, by him. He does get a wipe here on Elpern. Another shock trooper squad exterminated. Woof, that was a close one there for Mirasol. He almost lost a Stug. Needs to get this mortar bombard here. Another T-34-6 open, so he's definitely not starting for an IS-2 right now. Very sensible, I think. Also, at this point, he's going for another machine gun, but I would actually strongly recommend bringing in more Pioneers to assist in repairing both of his armored vehicles here much faster. Get the idea of a machine gun, but I think he needs just the ability to repair his armor faster without having to spend munitions on it. At least that would be my personal opinion here. At least Mirasol has somewhat stabilized here versus Elpern. Somewhat, but Elpern still I think holds a lot of advantage at this point. Panzer 4 good to go onto for Mirasol. Half 8 of 82 and the Schutzen. Constantly caught with the Panther 4. And there you go, another T-34-6 ready for Elpern and the Red Army. Sending in army here to deal with the German Panzers on the west side. He should, of course, can move to assist rapidly. I imagine Elpern is aware of this possibility, which is why it's not driving in with the T. Never mind, he's going a bit more aggressive with the T-4 now. Perhaps he's spending in the Stug down to know. Either way, those Stug engages. Push for the center. We've got Mortifier and this man. And there you go, Grenadiers bunched up way too easily there. Whew. Almost suffered several wipes with Katyusha. That was exceedingly lucky there by Mirasol. And what is this? We got creeping barrage here from the Katyusha, which by the way is actually like really accurate. You can see that it's like, you know, insanely accurate, wiping the ace machine crew entirely. Really powerful ability in the hands of a smart player like Elpern here. So thumbs up to Elpern actually using this ability, because again the creeping barrage in the Katyusha is like incredible, because it just makes the Katyusha barrage very accurate. Like sure, it takes a bit more time, but again the rockets that do hit with much greater precision. So, yeah, that was really smart there by Elpern and completely blindsided Mirasol. In part because, again, like so many other strong abilities that see very little usage in the game, a part of why it becomes even stronger is because most players don't expect it. They never see it coming. Finally pushing units again here for Mirasol. Having sort of disrupted Elpern a bit, he is getting more aggressive again. So he needs to be careful not to make any more mistakes. Commanding, he could be a good addition. More Stugs, though, I think, would also be an excellent addition here. There's all these T-34-6s, honestly. There we go. T-34 taking heavy damage here from the Panzer-Schrecks. An actual T-34-6 that would have probably been lit on fire, though, after impact by 2 Panzer-Schrecks. T-34 being pulled back for repairs. We got an Austrian here for Mirasol. I'm honestly slightly curious as to this one, because he has mechanized. He has the command tank, which versus infantry, if anything, has a better performance, but also, of course, boosts all the troops around, just has more utilities. I'm not entirely sure why Mirasol here would pick the Austrian over the Panther 4 command tank when they have roughly the same cost. That one is a bit of a quandary there for me. Like, that one is just a case of, yeah, the command tank is just, like, unless he's expecting air support, he's up against shock rifle. That's not an idea problem at all. So it's like, you know, but unless like he's expecting air support, like, in every situation, the command tank, I think, you can also imagine is going to be, I think, much better here. So, I am baffled by the decision to go for the Austrian. I mean, sure, we wanted, like, more after the command tank. Sure, I could then go for an Austrian, but I think just primarily because, you know, just having his tanks, his Stuke, his infantry, all support would just be a bit hard to kill here. On top of the good anti-tank problems, would just be much better here for Mirasol than the Austrian. Again, it's not because the Austrian is bad. It's just, you know, the command tank, I think, would just offer him a lot more utility. So, I am perplexed. But enough about that. Enough about that. Finish the Maxim here. On the west side, we got the Panther Force and the T-54 some 6s. Austrian behind the conscripts. Stuke in reserve here. Got the machine gun wiped up the Katyusha. Again, note the now fairly consistent use of the creeping barrage ability here. Issued a 5 tanks there for Elpern. Austrian getting flanked all down to half, in fact, knocked out immediately. Tactical mistake, I think, by Mirasol. Shouldn't have left it out at the front line that, you know, exposed, but not half health. Gonna ram the Panther 4 here. Aggressive move there by Elpern. Field gun T-54 going for the Panther 4, which of course now can't easily get out of there. Panzer Strike team moving in as well to assist. Stuke moving in there. Could try and load up the heat shell. May not matter, I guess. Stuke is heavily damaged already. He does load the heat shell now, but the timing is definitely wrong, as it does cause the Stuke to cycle the ammunition, which means it actually takes a lot of time. So if you need to do it before you move to an engagement, preferably, because otherwise you just end up, like, you know, spending a lot of time not firing at all. So that was definitely, I think, mishandled there. But Mirasol lost the Stuke and Austrian, I think, for no good reason. He did save the Panther 4, but yeah, I don't think that was quite worth the Stuke and Austrian at this point. So that was pretty great. He does get a T-54 and 6 course knocked up and the field gun, but I'm not entirely sure that was the best trade here for Mirasol in the end. Heavy damage being inflicted on both sides. Fighting continues to be pretty brutal here. Definitely think should try and destroy the field gun with the Panther 6. Doesn't. Panther 4 there doing self-repair so quick to fix it up. Thumbs up to at least for using that ability fairly consistently. Trying to heal themselves, but only be ruined by the T-34. Pack 40 for Mirasol. Panther 4 is going from the H5 tank destroyer here. I think Elpern's going to wreck it pretty rapidly. More Katyusha fire here, tripping, forcing healing. Pack 40 number 2 ready. Gunny's in the center. Pack 40 almost done. Machine still abandoned out in the middle of, well, what remains of the road. I mean, obviously, there's not much road left there. Not much road left there. Panther leading conscripts close to the ace level there. 19 kills in these chaps. T-4 rushing forwards. Could get Panther as well. He ran from the Panther 4. That was definitely less than great here for Elpern. He does manage to ram into the Panther 4. Might be able to finish off here, actually, in which case, obviously, that kind of works out for Elpern. Yep, got eventually 2 Panther 4. Then we got Panther team firing, field firing at the Panther team to get them closer here. Almost got the H5 with field gun almost wiped out. Absolutely just brutal. Machine recruiter as well. They almost got it. Got it, actually. Field gun about to get wiped out here. They're finding it to just be an absolute non-stop onslaught of carnage. Both players are just hammering away at each other. He's going for another Austrian. Panther Strike team wiped out by the Katyusha again, utilizing the creeping barrage. Just devastating effect there. Like if you aren't using the creeping barrage, I think Elpern has more than, I think, amply demonstrated why you should at this point. Like, he just basically, it was like firing a precision shot there, which the Surge acted access to at one point for the mortars, which is absolutely busted. And this is effectively the same, except it's on the Katyusha, which they also had, I think, for the Katyusha at one point. But they removed that because, again, that was too good. So they gave it back. Wait, what? Anyways. Though, of course, it is worth noting, when it came to the Soviets and artillery, they were not known for their accuracy. Quite the opposite. Tactically, they were actually quite inefficient with it. What the Serbs were good at was mass artillery, like just massive artillery barrages. Yeah, I think Austrian hits a definite mistake there by Mirasol against Elpern. A definite mistake. Not just because of the whole command tank versus Ostwind debate at this point, but rather he needs another tank, like a proper tank that can fight against other tanks. Elpern, I think, is really showcasing the creeping barrage here. That's just wiped so many of Mirasol's units at this point. Still just key units like the A-74-2 and now the Panzerschreck team. Absolutely brutal stuff there. More grenadiers here for Mirasol. Half the, almost there to the ace level. Mortar there with 21 kills. I mean, the mortar's definitely like caught on by now. I mean, again, it has, I think, been a good investment. That we think, argue, it took a bit there for Mirasol to like really catch on with it. Pack 40 wiped again. This time, just a regular barrage though. Just a regular one this time. More swap machine gun than mortar. 22 kills. It's looking pretty rough for Mirasol. We got 99 versus 75 victory points. And this Katyusha's doing a lot there, I think, to ensure that Mirasol doesn't get ahead of Elpern there. Like, just the wipes that scored on all the kills has really just been a huge help of Elpern at this point. Like, whenever, like, Mirasol's looked like he might actually be able to, like, overcome Elpern, like, Elpern just smacks him down there with the creeping barrage / precision strike. Towards the engineers. And certainly when it came to rocket barrages, they were most certainly not known for their accuracy. So not the Germans either. They were more like just saturating an area with rocket strikes, not for sniping units. So looking pretty rough here. I mean, again, Mirasol could in theory still turn around and like perhaps like a deep flank catching the Katyusha off guard could remove a crucial element there from Elpern's forces here, but he even gets another wipe here on the field gun again. But still, the situation for Mirasol remains tough, and he's trying to, I think, build up the forces and like, you know, muster them in a manner that can like deliver more harder hitting blow here to Elpern. The mortar's definitely helping him stay in the fight here. Like, it's almost wiping out the machine gun there. It's close. Another wipe there in Elpern by the sound of things. Almost got the MU-42 there. Veterans won the Ostwind. Pack fought him with the T-34 from 6. Almost got the T-34 there. Almost. Can he finish it off here? Well, Elpern go for another one. We try and go for the ISU and a surprise twist here against Mirasol. We got 34 points after 75 here. And another wipe. Not just regular strike this time around though. But another brutal punish and blow here to like Mirasol. Like, this Katyusha's just been absolutely insane. Panther 4 there for Mirasol. Pack 40 wiped again here for Elpern's brave T-34 crews and conscripts. Ring's going to Panther to death, I imagine. Let's attempt to. Got it, but still need more for that Katyusha's ability to wipe Mirasol's forces. Balance, the match continues to like pretty much hang in the balance here. Like, I mean, Elpern's forces just taking intense losses. Like, it's really close. Like, this could go either way at this point. Like, Mirasol could lose this, we could still win this. He's actually diving the Ostwind into the base. Elpern, sensing this, is pulling the Katyusha all the way back. He knows if we lose the Katyusha, I think Elpern is quite aware that his chance of turning this round is pretty slim. Panther 4 there for Mirasol. He needs more troops as well. I think more support weapons. Grab the eastern point as well. Very smart. Savvy. Katyusha there just awaiting the time to unleash another musical barrage straight out of hell. Fun fact, the Germans call the Katyusha the Stalin organ, or Stalin organ. Stalin organ. I said it in Danish there the first time. Anyways, you get the idea. Katyusha there is ready again. Got the Eastern victory point. We got 7 versus 59. 56. This is going to come down to the wire. More grenadiers here for Mirasol. Flak pans out the ready here. Mortar as well there. 24 kills. I mean, that mortar's been like a pretty good investment here for Mirasol, considering its cost here. Concentration straight to the Ostland, gun to the AC. Moving a squad to the westwards. Pioneers, Panther forward. Oh, the Panther forward. Blast the Pioneers. Oh dear. This wasn't how it's supposed to go, Otto. We were meant to kill the Russians. Ah, oh, bunch them out there. Go Katyusha squads. Another wipe here. Another creeping barrage. Once more, just ripping Mirasol's infantry limb from limb. We got 7 versus 27. 25 versus 7. It's gonna be so close. Gunny's about to get wiped out. The Mirasol's infantry is being absolutely destroyed here, though. I mean, Elpern's infantry is also, like, you know, pretty much being maimed and pulverized. He finally gets the Katyusha, though. He finally gets it. He got 7 versus 19. Panther dives up the T-34 from 6 about to lose the Ostwind. He needs to get his troop to the front line. Schnell vorwärts. Ostwind is abandoned. Kaput. The Pag's been recruited by Elpern's conscripts. Everything is just hanging in the balance here. He's got the western point, and the clock is back on Mirasol. 6 points versus 19. He's moving on the center point. He needs to rush the infantry forwards. We got incendiary artillery here. And the Grenadiers trying the best they can, but it may not be enough. He got 3 points. Elpern is just burning his own men. 2 points, and GG, game over. Holy hell. That was close. Good God. GG, game over. A hell of a fight here between Mirasol and Elpern. That was a lot closer. I think the most matches are going to go. They're really just brutal, though, efficiency from Elpern and that Katyusha rocket launcher. But the Mirasol, I think, also showed some pretty hard-hitting punches. I just think he should have gone for command tank that first Ostwind, and I think had to use his mortar a bit better. I think things were better for him. Plus, again, there's that case of tunnel vision. But otherwise, I'd say that was a pretty exciting match. So hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment. And again, consider donating or pledging on Patreon. And again, big thanks to Daniel. This is Imperial Link saying cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.